Hello everyone, this is Blankera, and welcome to my universe. So last time I finished basically all the physics, and I was just going back through and looking at everything, and I mean, I love physics so much. Look at her, she's so bouncy. Everything is swishing around so wonderfully. And I think that the only thing I want to fix a little bit is shoes here. I feel like the movement there is a little bit too strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and scroll all the way to the bottom of my layers here and just... where do I do that? Shoe wiggle, here we are. I just want to lower that down a bit. I'm just gonna do it here instead of adjusting the number. I think that should be fine. It's a little bit easier. Yeah, there we go. I just wanted a tiny wiggle in there. I didn't want anything super strong. Yep, that is a tiny wiggle. Okay. So, I am satisfied. Yeah, that was basically all I wanted to do. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't realize that. I shoved myself a little bit too far over. There we go. Alright. So, now I just want to get into the last correction that I want to make, and that was with her hair, which I feel like has a weird, unhair-like consistency to it that I don't know how to describe. But it doesn't feel right. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, sometimes all you can really look at is how it feels. So, I wanted to look here. Let's see, so how do I have this structured? It looks like the typical way that I do it, where kind of everything moves and then just lower down and then one dedicated to just anything that I didn't feel like was swishing quite enough. So I think what I want to do is I want to bring this back up, the resonant frequency. I think that'll help a little bit. I think that'll actually be true for a lot of them, because I'm guessing that I put it way down low for quite a few. Let's see, I think this should also be a little bit higher. These higher up ones do not need to be swishing quite this much. Oh wow, and I have the output scale really high here. Let me minimize this and see if I can get my various parameters in frame. They'll be a little bit hard for you to see because they're going to be covered by a cloud. But yes, this is too high. Maybe if I need it to be more than 1, let's try this number. I can kind of see why I wanted to do it though. So it might take me some finagling to get those numbers the way that I want them to be. That's pretty normal though. Oh man. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit too bouncy. Oh, holy cow. I brought that all the way up to 3. Let's try like half that. Okay. Yeah, I think the resonant frequency is just too high on most of these, and I think it'll look fine once I push it down to like a reasonable level. I am not quite sure what was going through my brain there. I was probably just trying something. I'm sure it seemed reasonable at the time, but it's probably why her hair felt so strange and very much unhair-like. Oh man. I do like the way this little guy swings about, though. I think it's very cute. Oh, yeah. Look at him go. Okay, let me just see how the physics are going. Yeah, I'm watching the little red dots dance around here. Yeah, you can see this one. You can't see the one below, but you can at least see this one. And you can see that it'll move back and forth as I move the parameter around. And that is basically what I'm checking. I'm seeing if any are just going way out into outer space. And indeed, it looks like my swish physics are. So I explained this a little bit last time in that... Here, let me see if I can get this on screen there. Yeah, now you can kind of see it, where when I move it around, you can see it's starting to go off of the grid there. That's bad. You don't want it to do that. That is gonna make your physics look really bad. Because basically what happens is, no matter how it moves, it cannot go higher than this. So even if it starts going off, it still cannot go higher than this, which for me is going to be like a positive 1. So I think with the way it was going, it's probably going up to like 1.3 or something. That means that the value will just clamp at 1, and it'll show what is in this 1... What I have keyed on the value of 1 up here. And it'll show that all the way until it dips down below 1 again. So that just basically means it's gonna freeze here, and it's gonna get stuck and look terrible. So yes, I do not want that. Oh, I had the output scale going higher on the Y there, yeah. But no, swish is still... It's still going hard. And you can kind of see when I swish it around a lot, look how janky that looks and how rigid and just unnatural. It's pretty bad. So I do want to try to fix that. And I think it'll be pretty easy. I'm just gonna go into here. Oh, I'm not actually moving it that much. Oh, I'd thought that this number would have been higher. Man, what is making it so heavy then? I'm on the right one, right? This is swish, and the one with the problems is swish. I want it to wiggle a little bit, so I would think that the damping is okay. Maybe I just need to drop this back down to 1. Okay, yeah, now it's panicking a lot less. I think I still want that number to be a little higher, though. But yes, it does look like I just need to not have the resonant frequency so high. You know how I keep saying that I need to actually look up how pendulums are calculated so I can get a better understanding of what I'm doing here? Still haven't. It's on my to-do list, but I've got a lot of things on my to-do list, so... Sometimes it takes a little while. But someday I will take a look at that. Okay, yeah, we're good. I just thought something was breaking, but it is not. All is well. Anyway, I'm just gonna move it down 10 here and see if that does what I want. Get that back on screen here. See if I... Okay, so if I go really, really hard, I can still make it freak out. But no one is ever gonna go that hard. So I think that what I have is probably okay. Okay, when I look at you, you still have a weird bit of floatiness to it. So I think I actually want the damping here to be slightly lower. And if that doesn't fix it, that might actually be a rigging problem. So let me just stare at this for a second and make sure that it is all doing what I want. This does look a lot better than what I had, but is it exactly what I want? That is the question. I don't know, I still feel like here is kind of super weird. So I think I will take another look at my tip physics here and maybe bring these back a little bit, or even just take them out. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually going to try to take them out, and if I feel like these need a little bit more bounciness to them, her side hair here, I'm going to go ahead and add a new parameter for it. So we will remove you two, and you, and you, and you, and you. You're fine. Okay. I'm also not sure if this needs to be there, but let me just kind of see how it looks without that now. So I'm just gonna swing your head around and... Oh yeah, I do think that looks better. I think that the little bit that I added on the end was just a little bit too much. Like, it looks fantastic on this guy and this guy. I think I probably have it on that guy too, but looks great on those. Over here. But here, it was a little bit too much. I actually think it's a little bit too much on this guy too. So let's go ahead and remove that from here too. So that'll be you. You're good. You're probably good. Yep. All good there. Just need to get rid of all the shoulder clump stuff. So I just think it's too much. I'm just removing everything shoulder clump related. Okay. So that'll remove all the stuff there. And it's just on that one parameter. All the other ones will still give it that bounciness that it needs. And indeed, I think this looks a lot better. Just compared to what I have on the model next to me. I think this looks better. It looks a bit more hair-like. So I'm just gonna look around again, make sure that all is well and that I am satisfied with how it's swinging around. Might actually be a little bit strong on this guy too. Yeah, I don't think he needs to be like that resonant, so I think I'm gonna remove him from here too. So which one are you? I actually don't remember. So I'll just click until I find it. There you are. Alright. Yeah, I don't think I need him to swing around that hard. Yeah, and he still has a bit of bounciness. See, look at him go. And he's just not panicking. And then these guys can still go pretty hard. I really like it on this one. I really like the way that looks. Look at him swing. It just looks so happy and free. Oh, man. Yeah, I think that is a lot better. I like this a lot better. And everything still looks nice and swishy, but it no longer looks like it is trying to escape her head. Or it's just made from some material that is very much not hair. Maybe some Jell-O variant. But this feels a little bit more hair-like to me. Has a little bit more weight to it in the lower parts too. Is there anything else that I'm just not happy with? But no, I think the top looks good. I think this is fine now. This is a really big jerk, so it's not surprising that it kind of acts a little bit strangely, but I think that is fine. And I'm just checking all the strands down here. They still swing around nicely. They got a little bit of bounce to them. And I think the side hair still has plenty of bounce to it with me removing that last little bit. I don't think it needs any more. I think this is perfect. Top of her hair looks fine. The big clump over there looks fine. All the little strands look fine. Looks maybe a little bit weird when she starts turning her head to the right, but I think that's inevitable just because of how I had to rig it. I would have really liked to have some more keyframes in here, but when I tried, everything just exploded, and not risking that again. I don't want to lose pretty much everything I've been doing. Okay. Let's go ahead and check. Here. Make sure that it is still swinging around in a way that makes me happy. I might need to make a couple of things here a little bit stronger. No, this seems fine. Okay, yeah, this seems fine. Okay, cool. So I think that makes her hair look better. So I think that is her main body complete. So now her head swings around nicely and all the hair moves nicely. I am happy with the physics on the eyes. And her body also moves around very nicely. Oh man, after all this time, it looks like it will not quite take me a year to finish this. Yay! I will take the small victory. It took me way longer than I thought it would. But anyway, we still got one more thing to do. Go ahead and collapse these. And that is this little guy right here. So I will collapse all of my parameters for now, and we will actually work on Shoral. It is the final thing. Once I finish this, the model will be completely finished. And I'm just gonna keep this pretty simple. So, what I want to do... does this need to be 2D? Let me think about that for a second, actually. I do not remember exactly how it moves in-game. It's like I looked it up at one point, but that was a while ago. That was a while ago. Let me see, is it in her... P2 art? Because if it is, then maybe I can see it move. Okay, it is. Let me see if I can just find a quick reference here. And if I can't, I will just make something up. Let me see if I can find an animated version here. Okay, so it looks like it just kind of spins in place in her P3 art. Okay, no, it's going up and down. Yeah, initially I wanted to get it to spin, but in this case, I think I'm just gonna get it to rock back and forth. I think that'll be a little bit easier to rig, and I'm not sure if I want to go through the entire rigmarole of actually making it spin, because while I prepared, that is not actually easy to do. Anyway, indeed, we just need him to go up and down. So I will call this Shore Float. Anyway, the reason I wanted to verify that was because if it went back and forth a little bit, I was going to make it a 2D parameter, so that this way I could have it go back and forth as well as up and down, but since it really just goes up and down, I just need the 1D parameter. Okay. So let's see, how do I want to do this? Is this far enough? Yeah, if anything, that's a little bit too far. Let's pull it back a little. So what I think I'm gonna do... I have been looking up animation techniques in general. Having a good time with that, actually. So we'll have it go up and down about this much. And then if I can do it without having the program panic, I will add another couple of axis points. And I will put one at... Let's see, I want it just like at the very end. So that'll probably be like... I want to say 85% of the way there. I'll do 85. That sounds nice. And so I moved it 30 here. I wanted to move most of the way between this point and this point. And then just a little bit here. I wanted to slow down considerably. So if I had it at 30 there, then... So 2550 is where it would be if it was completely linear. So... Let me explain what I'm thinking here. With it moving like this, the movement is completely linear. It just goes up, stops, on a dime, goes down. I kind of want to make it look like it's slowing down when it's starting to reach the top and bottom of how much it's going to float. So I want it to be a little bit more than it should be here. So maybe like somewhere around, well, I mean, 30 is where it should be. I want to get rid of that half. 25 is where it would be on its own, so maybe 27? It's a number picked fairly arbitrarily, but I think it'll make it look like it's slowing down a little bit. Kinda hard to see here, so let me slide this a little further over. Actually, no, maybe we should do 75. Maybe 85 is just too close. Let me see where those values should be. I'm gonna go ahead and unset them. So they'd be 22 if I had no interference here. I want them to be a little further along, so... yeah, sure. Let's try 27. This way it'll hopefully look like it's kind of easing into... or slowing down a little bit. Still not quite feeling it. Let me... to be fair, I am scrolling through it quite fast. But I will try... make it so I can at least kind of feel it. Well, let's do a little bit more. This is the most I can do. Since it is only going to 30, I cannot send this point beyond 29. So yeah, I mean, it should barely move it all from here to here. Is that the problem? I'm still relatively new to animation stuff, but I am trying to get... yeah, basically I am trying to use some of these techniques that I've been learning. Okay, I can kind of see it here. So as it floats, hopefully it'll look like it slows down a little bit as it goes from here to here. Maybe I'm just not moving it quite enough. Maybe I need to do it a little bit more like this. Give it a little bit more space to slow down. Or maybe I just need another axis point and put in another pair. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do 85. That sounds good. And then I just raise the number here. So it's 28 here. Let's make it 29. I just want to give it the impression that it is decelerating. Okay. I think I see it now. I will go ahead and leave it like that. So let's see here. How do I want to handle the rocking back and forth? Or do I want to attempt making it spin? I'm a little bit afraid of making it spin. I will think about that one for a second. Because I did have a vision. I did create a bunch of, like, extra copies and stuff, so that this way, hopefully, I could, you know, in theory, move things around. Because, I mean, you can see that I have some things clipped, like this layer, not visible at all, because it's out here. And the idea would have been to slide it on over when it was time for it to spin around. And then I just made... Let me see if I can... Yeah, I have a mask here where I clip everything to it, so this way it only shows when it's on top of that mask. So I did have a lot of the pieces aligned, I'm just not actually quite sure how to make things spin. What the heck. We'll give it one try. If it is a little bit beyond me for the moment, then, you know, that's fine. Let's see. I think it is only going to be like this. I will have to add some other frames. Trying to get the structure of it in my head. I think I need it to be a little bit more than one. I think that'll make it easier. Sure, I'll spin. Not sprint, spin. And when it ends, it should end in the exact same position that it started in. So this way it can spin seamlessly. So I will go ahead and just reset here. I do not think it'll do anything until I add more points, but we'll start there. And that means that the halfway point will be at 1. And that'll be when my second copy of everything is in this position. Okay. So what I saw in the GIF that I was looking at is that this bottom part spun this direction, and the top part spun this direction. Let me double check to make sure I have it going the right way here. Because I could also very well be getting dyslexic. And they could be spinning in the exact opposite direction. I was indeed getting dyslexic. Okay. This guy spins this direction. This guy spins this direction. So I'll do this one first. And basically what this means is I want this one to move off this way. This is gonna look really weird for a little while, but it's fine, don't worry about it. I'll get there eventually. And then this one will come over. And... yeah, then this one, he's gonna slide on over here. And the copy will come in. And I will line up the point with the bottom there. Yeah, kind of like that. That'll do something. I'll worry about that later. Okay, so then we have this one that's gonna go just way over here. Get out of the way. And we'll have the copy come over here, and I will line it up at the corner of everything. Okay, currently nothing is lined up properly, but this is very quick and dirty. And we have the mask. So this is going to look ridiculous. But this is kinda what I think has to happen. Where I take some values and replace them, so that this way the new ones can come in. And I'm not quite sure how to do that. That was what I was gonna figure out when I decided to try to make them spin. So alright, let's do something new today. And if I can't at least make decent progress in figuring it out this time, I think that next session I will just make him kind of wobble back and forth a little bit, because that I think I have a pretty good idea of how to do. Okay. So now I'm trying to think of every step in the path. So at the midway point, I want it to be replaced with the old ones. And at the end, I want it to kind of come back. Not this way. Not this way. It's got to come from the other direction. So that means at some point that the originals here have to come over here and then just somehow end up back over here. That's actually pretty straightforward. That part I can do. But I don't want to worry about it just yet, because basically all I have to do is, while they're off screen somewhere, I just use some keyframes to bring them like below or above. I'll probably do it below. Just below here, all the way around, and then I'll stick them over here. As long as it doesn't overlap with the mask at all, they will end up over there. So this tells me that let's see, so after they're completely off screen. Yeah, this is why I wanted to figure out that part a little bit later. But take my word for it, it's straightforward. I've done it with shooting stars before. Like the shooting stars in my opening screen, I do an illusion like that too, where I let the stars go off screen, and then I swoop them around at the bottom where they're out of frame of the camera, send them back up underneath me, so this way they can go fire again. It's actually quite straightforward. So, the next part is, in order to make it look like it's actually spinning, as opposed to just, you know, sliding off like this. This looks very strange. This does not look like a spin at all. Is I need to change the angle that all of this exists at. So I need, like, the corner here to come to the middle. And then this little glowing piece here to become thinner, so it looks like everything is pointing a slightly different direction. So I will go ahead and add another midway point here. Yeah, that's fine for now. I'll just worry about this one for the time being. I'll go ahead and reset there. At some point, it'll come off. I doubt I will actually move it exactly like I was showing. I just kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of trying to get the gist in my head, because it's very complicated. And it's making my brain hurt. Okay. So I need to do something like get this corner to move over here. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. And then I want to adjust the X scaling of this so that it's thinner, and then I go put it on the side here. Maybe rotate it just a touch. We'll let it look rough for now, just while I'm figuring it out. And then hopefully, once I clean this up, it'll start looking like a spin. Okay, and if that has to drop like that in order to make it spin, what does this side have to do? Let me go look at my reference. Save me reference. Okay, this scroll is at a slightly different angle than mine, because on mine, we see the top of this one as opposed to the bottom of this one. But I think I can still use it to an extent. So let me stare at this for just a second here. Try to understand what I'm seeing. What do the corners do? Because it's a triangle, right? So how the corners move is going to affect everything. Oh man. I kinda wish I could pause it and slow it down. Racking my brains here. Although I'm realizing I do not need that second glow layer. I don't. Because of the 3 angles, only one of them has the glow. Okay. Okay. So in that case, let me get rid of the glow copy here, if I have done anything with it. That should not exist. And with that gone, I'm actually just going to remove it here. We will delete, and we will delete here too. Okay. So do not need copy. There's only 3 sides, and only one of them has the glow. So I do not need the extra one. For some reason I thought that there were 4, and therefore 2 of them would have the glow. But no, there's only 3, and only one of them has the glow. So that tells me that once we reach this point here, there will be no glow showing. There will be absolutely no glow showing. Okay. 1 mystery solved. So let me stare at the corners of this triangle again. Try to get an idea of what they're doing. Oh man, this is hard. This is so hard. My brain is melting. I definitely have the right idea. I'm trying to figure out what the outer corner should be doing. It's kind of interesting. No, never mind. I am just looking at this reference and I'm like, huh, there's a point where it kind of fades and it doesn't quite match up cleanly, but I think that might just be how the GIF was taken. Since I am just looking at a GIF. Okay, so we go back over here. There should also come a point where this back part, I assume I have something like that. Yeah, at the top here. And the corner of it should come like up like this. Like I said, we're leaving things a little bit rough for a bit. And it should be shaped kind of like this. Like this doesn't look good. This does not look right. But I gotta start somewhere. I gotta sketch it out. I gotta let my brain understand what it is I'm trying to do here. Otherwise I'm just gonna be lost and confused the whole time. So there will come a point where something like that kind of happens. Ah, jeez. And then when everything comes over here. What I think is actually gonna happen is this guy's gonna, like, sneak on over like this. Gonna, like, drop him over like this. And this is gonna drop kind of like this. Yes. And I'm doing my best. Then the edge here will start to show, and it'll be kind of like this. I'm gonna get these to be like mirror images of each other. It will continue to look strange for a little bit, but hear me out here. Hear me out. We do something like this. This is the new one. The old one is gonna kinda... No, not like a transform. We remove all transforms. Okay, maybe we don't remove that transform. And that one's fine. Okay. So this one will start to kind of come over here. Get all messed up. I'll once again worry about making it nice in a little bit. Then we have the side here. It's gonna come on over. It's gonna come on over here. And do something like this. In theory. Yeah, hangs out the side a bit. And I just gotta figure out where this bottom part goes. And then the copy of the front needs to line up with the corner. And then, in theory, I should start getting something that kind of resembles a spin. Oh yeah, and then the glow needs to go away. The glow... I'll just let it slide off for now. I'm not quite sure how to handle it. Man. I knew spinning would be way harder than just kind of getting it to oscillate. But even so, I severely underestimated it. Oh my. That's kind of what you gotta do, though. But I still think it might be beyond what I can do for now. I will probably have to do some simpler studies. Oh, man. Because I am way off here. Yeah, I'm not actually even sure how to properly go about this. So, yes, I think I will... I think I'm just gonna have it oscillate. I think that'll just make my life a little bit easier. So let's just remove everything and we'll go ahead and delete this one. And we will do... I think I will still call it Cheryl Spin. Even though I'm not gonna make it spin. I'm a little bit sad, but that was bending my brain so much that I think even given a week without actually doing some other practice off stream, which I unfortunately just do not have time to do right now, I probably still wouldn't have gotten it. So I will save that as a thing to look forward to for when I'm actually a little bit better at doing all of this. Because I think even getting it to oscillate is going to be pretty hard. But I at least kind of see the path there. I'm not quite sure how to handle this top bit, but what I had when I was trying to get it to spin is at least a reasonable place to start. So I can do just something kind of like this, where I move this part over. I'm not sure why there's a hole there. That's probably something that just didn't get meshed properly. So I will check the mesh after I fix this, actually. Okay, I'm gonna try to get the line back on. So there we go, I have that done. Let me check the mesh on you, because that is not normal. Oh no, it just literally looks like that. It's a highlight. Okay, that's fair. So that highlight is just because at the beginning, yeah, it's just this highlight. Okay. I can respect that. I will go ahead and make sure to put this highlight where it belongs then. Just over here. And then I see that we have a little bit of top highlight there showing, so I will try to show that. The glow was pretty easy, because all I had to do was kind of squish it down a little, and then just slide it in place. Go ahead and just make sure it actually stays on there. That will probably require some more work to get it to look right, but I'll leave it there for now. And then the top. How am I going to deal with you? I think I can just do this. Let's keep it simple. This will probably still look kind of jank, but do I at least have a good start? I feel like being able to do this is the first step to being able to get things to spin. So you know what? I'll take it. I will take it. And you know, maybe next time I rig something, I will have the ability to make things spin. But no, the spinning is pretty hard. I can forgive myself for not being quite ready for it. Okay, how should this actually look here? Move this over just a little, and then I need to connect the side here. I do not think that is in quite the right spot. And I will still continue trying to get the top of the glow in the right spot. Okay, I feel like I'm changing the angle that the top is showing at a little bit too much, so let me push this part down a little. I want it to be a little bit pointier than it was. Just make sure that the point is moving to the right spot there. Yeah, I got this. Okay, having it oscillate back and forth within my abilities. A full-on spin might have been too much, but I got this. I can do this much. Honestly, it's been kind of a thing lately where I keep trying things and I am just feeling the limits of my abilities so hard lately. Because I have been wanting to try many new things, and when you try new things, sometimes, well, more accurately, when you try new things, you're always quite bad at it at first. I have seen very few people, especially if they're adults trying new things, just take to it immediately and be good from their very first attempt. But man, I have tried a couple of things lately and I just can't do it. I need to practice more. But I have kids, so finding free time is hard. Finding free time to get all that practicing done is hard. And then there are just some ideas that I have, and I'm like, man, I could work on this for the next 10 years, and even if I had the skills to do every single piece, I probably still wouldn't finish it, because the ideas are just a little bit too large. And sometimes I do get a little bit down about it. Feeling the limits of your abilities is never really fun. But there is only so much that one human can do. And nonetheless, I will do my best. Okay, and I think that this is actually a little sharper than I want it to be. So, let's go ahead and pull this up a little. And then I will connect the other side up here. Let me hide the top for a moment just so I can make sure that these things are being connected. Yeah, like right about there. And then I connect the top. Something just like up here. Point just a little higher up. There we go. And the glow. The glow I now have to extend upward again. It's okay. I had to get it at the wrong angle in order to find the right angle. This is normal. Okay, now I need to adjust the bottom corner a little bit. Kind of push this over there. I think it's getting there. And if I reset here, does it kind of go back and forth? Yeah, I think if I move that nice and slowly. I have to fix the top still, but I'm just trying to see if the idea kind of does what I want. And if I just move it very slowly, I do think it kind of looks like it's going back and forth a little bit. Just staring at it a little. Okay, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So let's adjust the very top, because I can see that... Let me see, there's some, like, debris and stuff here. I'm gonna hide it for a second just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. But yes, there's... like, this highlight on the top there that I thought was a hole at first, because it's almost the same color as the background. And it is getting lost when I go over here. And it also looks like the top of the blue area is still not quite lining up. So let me pull that up a little bit. And indeed, that is actually helping the highlight show too. So that might have been the only problem. That was it. I will be quite happy. Okay. This side. This side. The blue needs to be closer to the edge of the silver here. Let's go ahead and try to kind of pull it over this way. I meshed this for perspective and not much else, so hopefully it'll work out for me. Okay, I think I see what I need to do here. Let's see, how am I gonna do that? Basically, I have an idea. We'll see if I can make it come to fruition. I just feel like the angle of the blue is changing way too much and it looks very strange. Oh yeah, there we go. That was kind of what I was looking for. Alright, let's take another look here. Just kind of looks like it's oscillating back and forth. I think this is fine. Okay, and I need to adjust the back corner of this side now. So that'll be this guy. He needs to kind of come a little further that way. Just a little further that way. I'm a little sad that making him spin is a bit beyond my abilities right now, but I gotta be honest, just even attempting it, I was way over my head. I wasn't even sure how to get started. But sometimes it do be like that, and I just gotta practice on some slightly simpler stuff first. Get good, and then try again. It's okay. I think I can be pretty happy with what I've done here. It is a start. Because I've never actually really attempted something like this before. When I mentioned that I've only done a few practice models and that I went into rigging my own model, and that is the extent of my experience with this program. So it is still very limited, and I am doing my best. So this already feels new and intimidating for me. Very, very much so, and the fact that I'm doing it live is making my palms sweat. But I think this is not bad for a first attempt. Doing rigid stuff is very different from doing clothes and hair and all these other things that are a little bit more forgiving. So. Okay, I think this looks alright. So we just kind of go back and forth. Okay, let's go ahead and do the one up here. I'm just going to do them on the same parameter. And this one I think is actually going to be a little bit easier because I'm just going to take the front here and I'm just going to pull it over. Or we're just gonna let it twitch back and forth like this. And then the triangle glow, I need to make a little bit larger, and we'll just bring it over there. And I will rotate it just a touch to let it line up a little bit better. Once again, I have to do a little bit of deformation in order to get it to line up properly. And then just the top here, kind of want it to be a little bit straighter. And then we reset here. Yeah. Just a little bit of wiggling back and forth. I think as long as I have it move very, very slowly, it'll be okay. Yeah. Very, very slowly. Okay. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to put a little bit of the same spin on the ball here. Okay, so I already have this basically set up for what I want to do. So... yeah, let's just... we move it over a little. And then it moves back. And I think that's it. Yeah, that looks like it's got a little bit of spin to it. Just moving back and forth. Yeah, I think that is pretty much what I want here. Okay, so I think I'll leave it there. I will just leave it there. Now then, the last little thing that I want to do is just add a little bit of floating to the debris. That'll be another... let's do... -1 to 1 here, so I will call this Shoral Debris Float. So now I have them all back on again. I'm just gonna move them pretty much random amounts. Just gonna be kind of random. So... let's see here. You're gonna go there. You're gonna go here. You're gonna go here. And I'll just move some stuff around. So I should tell myself that it's gonna... okay, so yeah, the whole thing moves with that, so this should be fine. It'll always move relative to where Shoral is at the moment. Okay, so... there we go. Just got a little bit of random movement to it. And then I will do the same on this side, just with a generally more upward trend. Gonna keep it pretty simple. No real rhyme or reason for how I'm moving these. They just gotta do something. And I think it'll look better if they're not all doing the same thing. That's the general gist of it all. Yeah, that should look pretty cool. Some of these look a little bit off, though. Let me zoom in and just make sure all the ones that kind of have blue on them are all good here. Because I think this one needs to come up just a touch. It's kind of the same here. Okay, if you can't go any lower, I'll just let you go higher here. That's fine. Okay, I think that one... oh, you know what? You're fine not moving. You're just fine. Okay. There we go. Hopefully that got rid of all the jank. I think this one goes a little bit too low. This little guy here. It shouldn't actually overlap. Should not actually overlap with the rest. Alright, I think that is pretty okay. Let me go ahead and do a similar thing to what I did over here. Where let's add a few more access points. We will put it at 7.5 and 7.5. And I will look at the numbers that they currently have. 1.5. What's the max you do? 2? Okay, I will make you 1.8 then. 8.25. I'll make you 10. 2.25. How about 2.7? 3 to 4 will make you 3.6. The numbers I'm picking are a little bit arbitrary, but I'm just trying to make it so that this way it'll move a little bit faster from here to here and slower here to here. So hopefully it looks like it's kind of slowing down before it turns around. So I guess the numbers aren't entirely arbitrary, but it's pretty close. If I'm being real. I don't really know what numbers to pick yet. It'll be something that I study. I plan to download OpenTunes sometime soon. And hopefully look at, like, actual animation shenaniganry. So that sounds fun. I would like to experiment with it. Again, there's the whole lack of time due to having kids, but you know, if I poke at it a little bit every day, I could probably get something. Let's see, let's try maybe 15. .2. 8.5. 9. 3.7, I guess. 2.8. Okay, this one doesn't move, so I'll just leave it. 7 and 5, so how about 6.2? And 0.9. Alright, let's see if that makes him look a little nicer. Yeah, I think so. I think that's pretty cool. Does the ball move at all? No, it stays pretty much in the same place relative to the triangles. So I'll just kind of let it hang there. So this means that I'll be able to send everything up and down and do a little bit of spinning and a little bit of floating here. Okay. Name my parameter group. Okay, so I think that's all I want to do with him. So that means that I have everything rigged. And all that's really left... Oh wait, no, there is one more thing I want to do. I'm going to keep this incredibly simple. This is going to be the Shoral toggle. And all I'm going to do is at 0 it shows, and at 1 I take the Shoral node and... can I not do opacity on a node? Alas, should have put it in a composite. Oh well, I don't feel like fixing that right now, so we'll just do it on each part individually. I'm just going to reduce the opacity on everything to 0. So if I wanted to make my life easy, I would have made this Shoral node into a Shoral composite instead, because a composite would have let me control the opacity on every single piece of this at once, and so I wouldn't have had to be going through and doing each piece individually. But you know what? It's fine. I don't feel like going in and fixing it, so we'll just do this. I think this will be faster than going back and fixing everything I just did. So we do things the hard way. There we go. So now I can make it appear and disappear. That is all I wanted to do. There we go. And so this means that I can tie it to a toggle, more or less. Stretch. Okay, well, I'm gonna go switch over to Inochi session after I export it. I always like to import session data just to make sure I don't overwrite my stuff. And we will export this. Okay, and I will save it too. So give me just a moment and I will switch on over to the other side. Let's see here, where are you? Have to remember how to do this. It'll be, yeah, here we are. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this is what it looks like in here. This is where I set everything, and since we're going to be focused on Shalom, I'm going to go hide in the corner. But we're not using this one. This one needs to go away before I can actually, like, model the right thing. So give me just a sec to pull up the new one. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be in the corner for a little bit. Don't worry about it. And so this is going to be the one with everything and all the changes. So the first thing I'm gonna do before anything else is I'm going to take a look at everything and make sure I'm happy with how everything is moving when it's actually tracking, and see if there's anything that I want to change. So I'm just gonna sit here and ramble. Yeah, I guess this will be a good time for a little retrospective while I just kind of ramble and wiggle my head around, try not to get too dizzy, and make sure I'm happy with how everything looks and how it moves. So far, I think it's pretty good. Well, when I got into this, I had really only rigged a couple of things before, and I just wanted to improve my skills. It was something that I decided to do for fun, and man, I kind of bit off more than I could chew. I really wasn't expecting it to take me like an entire year. I was like, okay, you know, maybe I'll be doing this for the next 6 months, but you know, it's fine. It's okay. It's totally fine. And then somewhere in that point, I realized that I actually kind of like streaming and I would like to take it a little bit more seriously. And then suddenly I started feeling really, really awkward about taking on this fun little project that I did and have it take me the better part of a year to finish. Because, like, let's be real, nobody's gonna come in and look at what I'm doing from part 285 or whatever. At that point, it's like there's too much of a backlog to catch up on. And it's gonna be really hard for people to get into it at that point, and I don't particularly blame them. That's why at the end I stopped being quite as meticulous as I was with her hair. And even then, there were some parts about that I, you know, had infinite time I would love to go back and fix. But at some point, I just kind of have to call it done. That's just something I kind of gotta do. And I mean, I think it's pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I absolutely love the physics on her clothes. Like I said, there are some things in the hair that I would fix if I had infinite time, and most of it is that I kinda feel like her head might be too skinny on some of my angles, and maybe I wish I could have pushed my upward angle a little bit more. But, that's about it, really. I really am quite pleased with how it came out. I can tell that I spent quite a lot of time on it. And yeah, indeed, with a lot of the physics are working out right now with it actually moving is about what I expected. You notice that they're not moving nearly as much when I have... when I'm controlling her with my head versus how they were in the actual rigging program, and that's because nobody moves the parameters quite as violently when they're actually controlling the puppet as they do when I'm scrolling things around, and that is why I kept mentioning that I'm making them a little bit over-exaggerated, because it'll make things look better in the long run. If anything, I kind of wish I exaggerated the belts a little bit more, but not... no. This belt, the red belt, is fine. I'm talking about the belts on her coat. I kind of wish that I exaggerated them a little bit more, but frankly, they're fine enough. It's not enough to make me want to go back and fix it. But I think that's probably the weak point of all this, and maybe the bottom of her coat is still a little bit stiff. But everything else, yeah, that's about what I was expecting. Maybe her shirt needed a little bit more. But yeah, that's why things got so heavily exaggerated there. But I think the biggest thing to think about with this is... I like rigging. It's a good time. No matter how tedious parts looked, I promise I was having a great time all the way through. And it is fantastic. I would like to keep doing it. I do want to wait for the next version of Inochi2D to come out before I do any more, but I might do some practice ones on my own time if I feel like it. There's too many things I want to do right now. Not enough time. I lament. Opportunity cost is my greatest enemy. And yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and actually put some values on some of these things here. So I'm already pretty happy with the values I put on just to make her look okay. And make it so I could properly control what I was doing and all that stuff. This is all fine. You can scroll through and see all the numbers I'm using here. So the only thing that's left is just Shoral here. The toggle will not be tracked, but I will use an expression here, and I'm just gonna leave it like that. Normally the way that I do a toggle is I'd hook it up to the keyboard bindings and puppet string, but you know what, it's fine. I'm just not gonna do that here, because all I really need to do is switch this to 1 if I want it to go away, and then when I want it back, I switch it back to 0. That's how I handle a lot of my toggles right now, because I find it easier than hitting buttons on my keyboard. I don't have like a Stream Deck or anything to help me out with that, so... Anywho... So this is where I have to remember how expressions work. I don't. I'm gonna click on my head and look for some of mine. So where's like my... eye spins and stuff? So you can see here... This literally just scrolls through things, and then I mess with numbers here. I'd kinda prefer an oscillating one. Do I have an oscillating one? Let me see if I do. Just because of how I had it rigged. Yeah, I do not actually... Oh no, I do have an oscillating one. Heck yeah. So this is the kind of thing I want to use. I actually do have a breathing parameter on myself. I didn't give Shalom one, but it's fine. She doesn't need to breathe. Breathing is overrated. So, I'm gonna copy that in here. We're gonna switch to expression binding, and I will go ahead and put that there. This one might be a little bit too fast. How do I make that smaller? I'm guessing I just use a fraction. How about like 0.2? We'll make it really slow. Yeah. And so now you can see it's kind of bouncing. Let me zoom in here. Okay, so you can see it's slowly floating up and down. I think I want it to be a little bit faster than that, so I'm gonna make this value a little bit higher. Let's try 0.4. This is another place where I just kind of try numbers and see if it's the way I want it to be. And it'll just bounce up and down. Yeah. I think 4 might actually be a little bit fast, so let's try 3. I wanted it to be super duper slow. And I think I will use the same one for spin. So like I said, I want this one to be super duper slow too. Just gonna slowly go back and forth. Yeah. So, there are some things that are controlled via head. And that's, you know, these things with where I have it set here and I pick a blend shape. And then I mess with these numbers in order to get it to move properly with how I move my head. And then there are some things that are controlled by math. Just pure math. On my model, let me get myself out of the corner here. You can see those will be things like the little things spinning in my eyes, or the little twinkles on my freckles. Those are all controlled by math. Do I have any other math things? Yeah, freckle sparkle, head effects. Oh yeah! You know, I totally forgot that I have like little clouds and whatnot moving in my face. It's really, really subtle, but it exists. And then my hair kind of moves around as well if you look really closely. But it moves really, really slowly, so it's not super noticeable. It's just something I thought was pretty. And yeah, those are the only other things. The like sparkles in my eyes and stuff, that's physics. That's all physics. The only thing that's controlled by math would be this little spiral that spins around. Let me actually remind myself on how many things I have controlled with my head versus just math. And you can kind of see just everything that went into this here. So yeah, this will be my spirals. Oh yeah, and that's what I have some twinkles in the eye whites too, so you can see them here, and I think there's another one over there somewhere. Oh yep, there's twinkling there. All of this is controlled by, you know, my head. Oh yeah, and I have a little bit of glow behind my eyes that pulses to become stronger and weaker and a little bit bigger and smaller. I put a lot of random effects in my eyes because when I rigged this, or at least when I started rigging this, the fad at the time was super jelly eyes that looked really weird to me and I didn't like it. So I wanted to do something that followed the trend, but in a way that I kind of liked. And that's why my eyes just got a lot of random jiggle effects. Just kind of worked out that way. Eyebrows controlled by my head, but I do not actually really know how to rig them, so that's why all you get sometimes is this. I would like to learn more about tracking, so this way I can have more expressive eyebrows, because I think if I did it right, I could do some fun things. But I don't really know how to do it, so this is the extent of what I can do for now. Yep, this would be my hair, you know, moving the head around, that's what all that is. And you are, yep, the freckles. All the random cloud movement that I have on my face with all the subtle colors in there. Not sure if anyone could really see it, but man, did it make me happy making it. More eyebrow stuff when I was trying to do things. I did my best. And a little bit shenanigans with my mouth. That was another case of I did my best. The mouth is one thing that I really, really want to learn how to track better. Because right now I basically track it via smile and sound. Nothing else. If I turned off the sound tracking bit, my mouth would basically not move at all. So that is something I need to figure out. And then some toggles and stuff. I guess my dress physics is not actually properly attached to a pendulum. Don't worry about it. This was shenaniganry. Don't worry about it. And yes, I have some cloud pattern on my skin too. You can see it on my arm. That was another thing that just kind of made me happy doing. And then some of my various other things. So some of this was just experiments that didn't pan out, and some of it actually does have stuff. But yeah, and then I tried to do a little bit with the mouth. Kind of worked out. But I have to really exaggerate my mouth movements, and I generally don't, so... Doesn't get seen that often. I can be a little bit smug. Anyway, while I was talking about all that, I was seeing if I liked the way Cheryl was moving, and I am pretty okay with it. So, Cheryl toggle, I will just leave the expression empty because I will just turn it to 1 when I want it to not exist, and 0 when I do want it to exist. And normally I would tie it to a keyboard toggle, but I don't feel like setting that up in Puppet String right now, because that would be annoying with the way my actual model works. So I'll leave it there. This is how I handle expressions, and so if you want to have stuff controlled by math and time, I guess I can describe what these are doing. So this one is using a sine wave. That's why it oscillates back and forth instead of like, let's use my head for comparison here. You can see that this freckle sparkle animation that I have, it does not go back and forth. It fills up and then it empties out. Fills up, empties out. And that I use time without the sine wave. And then just reading what this says. So it'll be time in seconds times how much I want to speed it up or slow it down. In this case, I wanted to slow it down, so I multiplied it by a decimal. So it would go a little bit slower. And then this is... how to describe what this is. So you know when you divide a number into a number, sometimes they don't divide evenly and you get a remainder? I'm basically seeing if I'm getting a remainder, and if I do, then I do something else. I'm not actually entirely sure. It's been a while since I've looked at these. But that is what that operand is doing. Actually, that's what all of these are doing, and then some of them have question marks because Inochi session is a little bit glitchy with text sometimes. The question mark is not my doing. And then if we have Shalom here, I wanted to go back and forth, so I just used the sine wave with time, and then I divided it by this decimal to slow it down a little bit. If I wanted it to go faster, if I wanted Shoral to just, I don't know, look like it's on drugs or something, I could make that number really big, and now it's just going. It's just going. But I wanted it to be nice and slow, so I slowed it down. And that was the idea there. Oh wait, I didn't put this on float. What am I doing? I gotta put it there. It's just gonna use the same one, because that's just how all of this is moving. It's fine, don't worry about it. And then once you put in all your numbers, and have all the things on blend shapes, you just go ahead and hit save. And another thing that you might notice is that the blend shapes are supposed to show up in this panel over here, and they're not right now. And in order to get them there, so this way you can actually assign values if it's relevant to you, is you hit refresh. There you go. Now you can see them all. Look at all those different things it can track. It's pretty cool. So, thank you, guy that wrote Puppet String. You have enabled many of us. I definitely appreciate all your work. Because, I mean, look at this. It's pretty cool. Very cool. You can see all the numbers that it's tracking on my face. In this case, I didn't need to hit refresh because I already had all my blend shapes assigned. So I just wanted to put some math in. So I didn't need to worry about it. But yeah, if you don't see anything in this panel, just go hit refresh. It'll show up. If it doesn't, do it again. Sometimes it works after that. I don't... And if it doesn't work out after that, that's probably the time to go to the Discord and ask for help. I'm gonna save it because I don't remember if I did or not. But yeah, when you hit save to file there, it'll save it, so this way you don't have to insert the values every time. And if you want to... when you make changes to your model here, and you want to make sure that everything doesn't, like, get overwritten. Let me switch over to the... Oops, wrong button. Let me switch over here. Give me just a moment. I think it's this one. Yeah. So, I'll stay in the corner. I'll switch back to the session shortly. But I just wanted to show the reason that I always hit tools and then import session data was because basically what that would do is make it so that it wouldn't overwrite the settings that I had in session when I wanted to make changes to the puppet and I went and exported things again. Because if you don't do that, it's just gonna wipe all your settings, and it'll be sad, and you'll have to do it all again. But if you remember to import all of your session data, it'll remember it, so that this way when you export a new version of the puppet, all of these numbers will still be there. So that's why I always made sure to do that, even when I didn't think I actually changed these numbers at all. It just stops the settings from being overridden. Man, I'm actually gonna have to start something new. Feels weird. Let me see, what else did I learn from doing this? I definitely figured out a lot about a decent workflow. I mean, the body went a lot faster than the head. Part of that was just because I always focus more on the head. It's just more important for VTuber models. But part of it was also just that I kind of knew what I was doing, and I had a better idea of how to move things around. Like, oh my god, I spent so long on her hair. Her hair was so hard. And while it was true that it was also hard, I did it in kind of inefficient manner and had to go back and fix a lot of things, and I kept changing my mind on a lot of things. And I think that for the next one I do, I will have a better idea of how to do that. Some things can only be learned just through trying it. And I have tried many things. Many things were done. So I have learned much. So I think that's part of why the body went so much smoother, and then the other end of that was just I was keeping it much simpler. You can see that the head moves a little bit more than the body. The turn goes a little bit further. I do not move the body quite as much as I move the head when I go side to side, and I barely move it at all when I go up and down. So part of it was that, but part of it was literally I just kind of actually learned how to do things. So I am hoping that the next one goes a bit more smoothly. And man, as much as it would be fun to do another video game character, doing something with just this much texturing everywhere. I mean, I had the hair gradient here, I have all her highlights, there were like a million shadows everywhere. I think I talked about that a lot while I was rigging this. And, you know, even when on the areas that I was keeping pretty simple, I mean, look at all the color changes just on her coat here, throughout all of this. I had a time trying to get these little dashes, or whatever you might want to call them, actually looking not terrible when it moved. That actually took a little while. So just the level of detail on characters like this might be a little bit beyond my abilities. Like, I can do it, but it will take me forever. I will spend the better part of a year trying to get it right. That sounds like me. I mean, I always remember that when I was drawing, and I just lacked the skill to put what was in my mind out onto my canvas, and because I was working digitally and I could correct mistakes as many times as I wanted, I would just keep reworking it and reworking it and reworking it to the point that it typically took me like 4 to 6 months to finish a single picture. It took me a really long time to do anything, and I'm still kind of in that stage of rigging, so I might actually keep doing simpler models for a while. But I would like to do another complicated one like this someday. I just want to get good first. I do have some art that I drew of Kobe from Arknights that I was gonna rig a while back, and just decided, you know what, screw it. I want to rig my own models so this way I can start streaming, rather than doing a little bit more to get good first. It was a good decision. But it does mean that I have some art laying around that I can rig. So maybe I'll mess with that again at some point and start over and put a time lapse out or something. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things that I want to be a little bit better at, and I think it just comes down to being able to picture stuff in 3 dimensions a little bit better. I think a lot of my best art either is kind of flat, like intentionally, like some of the stuff that I do in my minimalist art, or things for, or, you know, similar style to what I did for Inktober, where I would often just draw strictly in black and white and that kind of thing. Or I exaggerate it so hard that it doesn't really matter what I do, because it's not really meant to mirror reality, and it's just very strong. And that would be like what I did with when I drew Zero from Path to Nowhere. I have the time lapse up on the channel, and while doing those highly exaggerated things, I do think has helped me think in 3 dimensions. I kind of deliberately chose that because I don't really have to get it perfect. I do not think I could necessarily draw things super accurately here. My depth perception has always been kind of terrible, and I do think that actually makes perspective kind of hard for me. So that's kind of why I've developed some of my styles around just not needing to worry about it. So I should probably, worry about it a little bit more. Learn how to do it a little bit better. And I think that will improve my rigging greatly. So I think that'll be part of it. And another part of it is just the way I handle faces. I think I can get them looking good eventually, but I have to flail for a while before I get it right. And that's why every time I started working on like Shalom's jawline here, I'd poke around it and just flail for a while before I got it right. And even here, I'm not quite sure if I got it right. I think I just have it... I don't think it looks terrible. But I'm not quite sure if it's right. I think it's probably fine, though. But those kinds of things I still have a lot of trouble with. I don't know, just getting things in the right places relative to each other. I mean, looking at my model here, I'm still not sure if my chin is in the right place when I'm looking to the side here. I look at it, I'm just like, I think it should be a little bit further to the right. I do. But the fact that a lot of the issues that I'm having here I attribute to my art skills as opposed to my rigging skills tells me that I do not yet have the self-awareness to really know what I need to improve rigging-wise. So that is something to consider too. I probably just have to grind a little bit more, just get a little bit more experience. But, this is, strictly speaking, like, my second full model. Definitely my second full body. The ones that I kind of did for practice before rigging my model were heads, just heads, and I didn't even, like, fully rig them because I was just trying to make some GIFs. So I really only moved them enough to make expressions. So, you know what? For a second attempt at a full body model, I think I did pretty good. I really like her. I think she looks great. Definitely worth spending the better part of a year on. But I will probably keep trying to take on projects that take a little bit less time because I would in fact like to grow my channel and make stuff that people want to see. But, all I can say is that if you want to try rigging, just jump right in. It's fine. It's totally fine. You just gotta be ambitious. Do not be afraid. Embrace the suck. You'll probably start out pretty bad. It's fine. I did too. It took me a few tries to kind of get the hang of it, but yeah. I had a pretty good time. Happy to see it done. Let's get me out of the way here. Go zoom out a bit. Let's get a copy in here. We'll do one where they're fully zoomed out. Let's see. I'm gonna put her on my face here. Zoom in a little. Here we go. And then I'm gonna open a copy. So you can do that. And I'll zoom in a little. Go ahead and hide this panel for a second. Put her in way stop mode and we can see both at once. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it all. I've just been kind of rambling to myself so this way I can watch her wiggle for a little longer. Maybe I'll bring her up on stream occasionally. I don't know. But regardless, I'm still very happy that I did this. And here's hoping that the new version of Inochi will bring some cool features and I can try some new things and I don't know, do it again and again And again. And to make all the things. Look at her go. Look at her go. I do just love how bouncy her physics are. I had so much fun making those, and it was totally worth doing all these little things and just like her feet and the bottom of her skirt and whatever, even though, you know, odds are nobody will ever see it. I don't care. I had a good time. It made me happy. Honestly, that lower area was, I will call it the second most fun part to rig. The first part was her sleeves. I like doing her sleeves. I had a lot of fun getting those just right. And indeed, I was right that once I started doing a proper head control, that they would look a little bit stiffer and more like stiff leather than cloth. I need to tone it back a little bit, but... Yep. All the little pieces are all together now. Cool. So I'll just leave the finished part up here for a little while longer, and, well, that'll probably be where I end for today. And on Saturday, I'll be starting something else. I'll probably do some drawings. I've been wanting to develop this style that I used in the header on the channel. I call it my stained glass style because that's kind of what it was inspired by. And so I will probably do something based on that. I have some ideas. I'm very excited. Very excited to be starting something new, actually. I'm very excited that she is done. Very excited with how everything is looking. So here's hoping that from now on, the stuff I work on won't take more than a month. And you guys will get to see some new stuff periodically. Unfortunately, you know, I talk about my bad depth perception. It's bad into the fourth dimension, too. I have no ability to estimate how long it will take me to do something. None whatsoever. So, who knows? I'll just keep making stuff I like and I'll call it good. But I hope you all enjoy it nonetheless, because I do try to think of you guys when I do things, but, you know, I had to finish this model. I had to. I would have been too sad if I just left it half-finished and moved on to a new thing. I worked too hard on it to just leave it unfinished. So, forgive my indulgence. But I do promise that I do think of all you people watching when I am trying to do things. Yeah, I think I'll leave it here for today. So, thank you all for coming. I do hope that you have enjoyed seeing me flail for long periods of time. And that you liked seeing what goes into making VTuber models. Because it's hard. A lot goes into it. It takes forever. And there's a lot of little things you gotta pay attention to, and it makes my head melt. It makes it melt really hard. And I have to think about so many things. And now I'll go back into drawing some stuff for a little while to keep things easy on me. Maybe I'll do some animated illustrations, because those, when I'm working on it outside of stream, I can generally do them in a few days. Maybe. Like I said, I have no ability to estimate time. It's fine, don't worry about it. But yeah, here's to making many more things, and you know, I hope you'll make many things too. Don't be afraid of trying things. Because I did not know what to expect when I got into this, and I was in way over my head, and I did it anyway, and it was fantastic. I had a great time. So I suppose I will stop here, so thank you all for coming, and I really mean it. I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. Just go out and do it. Give it your best shot. And don't be afraid of taking a year. It's fine. I'll see you all tomorrow.